Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. According to the Guinness World Records, scientists at the University of Nottingham hold the record for writing the world's smallest periodic table. They engraved it onto a strand of hair that belonged to green chemist Professor Martin Polyakov by using a beam of accelerated gallium ions and imaging. The pistol shrimp can stun its prey by using its claws. They have a large claw, and when they snap it shut, it generates an intense burst of sound that stuns its prey. They also have a punch that's faster than a .22 caliber bullet that literally smashes their prey into pieces. The word testify comes from the Latin word for testicle. In ancient Rome, two men taking an oath of allegiance held each other's testicles, and men held their own testicles as a sign of truthfulness while bearing witness in a public forum. You gonna tell the truth, bruh? Cause I got you exactly where I want you. Uranus is the only planet that rotates on its side. Its spin axis lies 98 degrees off of its orbital plane with the sun. No other planet is tilted more than 30 degrees off its axis. Vice President Andrew Johnson took his vice presidential oath while completely drunk. He had been suffering from typhoid fever in the weeks before and downed 3 glasses of medicinal whiskey to prepare himself. He rambled on in a drunken stupor for 17 minutes. No, yeah, I'd back up the president. Why not? As of July 2011, the Hubble Space Telescope has made over 1 million observations. The 21 years worth of observations have produced nearly 50 terabytes of data, and it generates more than 80 gigabytes of data every month. In 2012, Planned Parenthood of the Greater Northwest gave away 55,000 condoms with QR tracking codes on them to students at Western Washington colleges. The students could then scan the codes and answer detailed questions about where you had sex and if you used a condom and how it was, etc. It then puts a pin on the map and asked if you wanted to share it to Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, because that's what every student wants to do, share their detailed sexual history with Facebook. A violin has been developed at Imperial College London that uses 3 strands of golden silk spun by an Australian golden orb spider. The composite material of silk fibers and a binding agent can be mixed to customize different sounds and can be used to improve or vary the acoustic properties of the instrument. Actor Ashton Kutcher was the 500th person to purchase a round-trip ticket on Virgin Galactic's Spaceship Two rocket plane. One ticket goes for $200,000, which actually isn't that bad to go to the moon if you think about it. According to a Gallup poll, as of February 2016, New Hampshire is the least religious state. Only 20% of people in New Hampshire are actually religious. Swiss adventurer Raphael Domjan has created a solar plane that is set to become the first ever solar plane to reach the stratosphere. It's a sleek white 2-seater with long wings that are covered with 237 square feet of solar panels. The Milky Way is about 100,000 light years across. The University of Pennsylvania's GRASP lab designed a robot to pick up dog poop. It's called the Poop Scoop, which is short form for Perception of Offensive Products and Sensorized Control of Object Pickup. It's capable of finding and removing 95% of offensive droppings at a rate of 1 poopy a minute. Xenophyophores are one of the world's largest living single-celled organisms. Some groups live in the deepest part of Marianas Trench, which is 6.2 miles deep. A flea can jump 100 times its height. They push off from the ground or pet by using their toes. They take off at speeds at 3 miles per hour and reach speeds as high as 4.3 miles per hour. The United States produces 30% of the world's waste, uses 25% of the world's natural resources, and approximately 46% of the lakes in America are extremely polluted and hence risky for swimming, fishing, and aquatic life. The largest solar power plant in the world is located in the Mojave Desert in California. It covers 1.56 square miles. Spam accounts for 14.5 billion messages globally a day. That's 45% of all emails. Some research companies estimate that spam email may make up an even greater portion of global emails, up to even 73%, with the United States being the #1 generator of spam email, with Korea clocking in as the second biggest contributor. There's a superpowered electron microscope called the SuperStem 3 that can examine objects 1,000,000 times smaller than a human hair. After death, rigor mortis sets in within 2 to 6 hours of the death, starting with the eyelids, neck, and then jaw.
'Cause you needed to know that creepy fact.
In China, ground bees are used as a remedy for a sore throat. Or you could just mix some honey into a delightful warm tea, but hey, to each their own. The Taponoma sessile, otherwise known as the odorous house ant, actually smells like rotten coconut when their bodies are crushed. The Long Now Foundation is building a clock that runs for 10,000 years and putting it in a West Texas cave. Rather than measuring time in minutes and seconds, the clock measures time in centuries and millennia. It has a century hand and has a cuckoo that will sound every 1,000 years at each new millennium. It's also programmed to chime periodically, with each chime sound being unique and never repeated. Most species of geckos actually have to have their tails pulled in order to shred it. However, a number of species are able to get rid of their tails at will. In many cases, the tails grow back, but if and when they do, they no longer have the bone structure that they originally have, and it's made of just cartilage. In 2013, scientists at MIT created an advanced fog harvesting material that enables these giant mist catchers to generate 5 times more water. The world's first solar power ski lift was built in the Swiss town of Tenna in 2012. It has approximately 80 solar panels and can pull 800 skiers up the mountain per hour. In some China subway stations, people are employed to shove passengers into crowded trains in order to get the door shut as quickly as possible and avoid delays. Toronto, Ontario, Canada hosts over 75 film festivals every year. According to the Guinness World Records, the widest human mouth measures 6.7 inches and belongs to Francisco Domingo Joaquim Chanquino from Angola. There are tornadoes on the surface of the sun. In one instance in September of 2015, a giant swirling plume of superheated plasma churned above the surface of the sun for 40 hours and was captured on film by NASA. It was 5 million degrees Fahrenheit. Venice, Italy is not only sinking about 1 to 2 millimeters per year, it is also tilting slightly to the east. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson was the first video to air on MTV by a black artist. In 1979, The Muppet Show was actually banned in Saudi Arabia because of Miss Piggy. This is because the Prophet Muhammad declared the flesh of swine an abomination. Merchandise bearing her likeness was confiscated from shops and destroyed. That's a rude way to treat my girlfriend. The first letter Vanna White ever turned on the game show Wheel of Fortune was the letter T. Bagpipes, although largely identified with Scotland, were actually introduced to the British Isles by the Romans. The first rock and roll group to play at Carnegie Hall was Bill Haley and his Comets. They played a benefit concert on May 6, 1955. Superman co-creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster sold Superman to DC Comics for $130, later earning $25,000 per year for the rest of their lives. Not bad, but not great considering the franchise is now worth hundreds of millions today. In Disney's Fantasia, the sorcerer's name is Yen Sid, which is actually Disney spelt backwards. This is because Walt Disney himself was a big inspiration for the character. Music greats Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain, Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones, Amy Winehouse, and Jim Morrison were all 27 years old when they died. They're all part of the infamous 27 Club. Notorious serial killer Ted Bundy served as the assistant director of the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Commission. Perversely, he was the author of a pamphlet instructing women on rape prevention. A male kangaroo can hop up to 37 miles per hour and jump as high as 10 feet. Musician and singer Sting was born Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner. He was given the nickname Sting by bandleader Gordon Solomon chairman of the Phoenix Jazzmen because he would perform on stage in a sweater that made him look like a giant bee. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 1,345,500 fires were reported in the US in 2015 alone, and that number grows by almost 4% every year. For the first time since 1993, the life expectancy of US residents in 2015 declined by 0.1 years to 78.8. Americans' life expectancy is already lower than other developed countries like Canada, France, and Germany. And I just moved to LA, oh lord. There's a company called LifeGem that will create a certified high-quality diamond from the ashes of a loved one who has passed away, and that includes your pets. UK designer Stuart Hughes designed an iPhone for a Chinese businessman that was worth $15.3 million US. It's inlaid with 600 white diamonds, the Apple logo is made of solid gold and 53 white diamonds, and the screen has 135 grams of 24 karat gold and sapphire glass, and the home button is a rare 26 karat black diamond. When you know you have too much money. A baby hedgehog is called a hoglet. Take a moment to look at that and let yourself smile. Look at that little guy, he loves your face. If you laid the New York City subway system end to end, it would stretch from New York City to Chicago. It has 661 miles of main track. When a group of howler monkeys let loose with their howling, they can be heard up to 3.1 miles away. The only state in the United States that grows coffee is Hawaii. Most of the world's coffee is produced by countries located in the Bean Belt, basically the tropics, with Brazil ranked as the biggest coffee producing country in the world. And now you're just a little smarter. Flip us the knowledge, slap slap. On the right, you'll find 2 of my most recent videos that you can press or click on your screen right now if you guys want to watch some more. And other than that, I just wish you guys to have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you then. Bye. Ooh.